Hello, and welcome to the first edition of the Good News program. My name is Michelle Brady, and I'll be your host today. The Good News program is a monthly program that will show you good news that's taken place over the month. It'll come out on the last day of each month, and it's developed by me. Why? Because a few weeks ago I found myself feeling quite depressed about the state of the world. And through the media, all I was seeing was bad news. Through the newspapers, bad news. So I decided, as a personal mental health initiative, to start a good news program. I have no camera skills, no editing skills, so please bear with me, and I'll do my best and try and bring together a decent show to show you the good news. And I'm hoping that it will affect me in a way that I'll start to see positive things more than the negative. And hopefully it can do something for you too. So let's get together with some good news. We've got a few stories for you today. This month of April 2015 at Brisbane Airport, 9,752 aeroplanes landed safely. The first story we're going to go with tonight is the story about young Luke Shamrock, an 11-year-old boy who went missing when camping with his family near Lake Eildon in Victoria. After 2 or 3 days, the worst was feared. They were scouring the rivers for Luke's body, but on the 5th day, they found him alive, suffering hypothermia, but otherwise well. Let's go to that story now. At the start of April, Luke Shamrock, an 11-year-old boy with autism, was camping with his family in Fraser National Park near Lake Eildon in Victoria. Early one morning, Luke went missing. His panicked parents sparked an extensive police search after warning it was possible Luke didn't know he was missing because of his autism. They told search and rescue teams Luke liked to hide in small spaces and was fascinated with water. Luke was missing for 4 days. Everyone feared the worst. Police scoured the forest from the air, while divers searched nearby lakes for any signs of his body. Hundreds of locals, tourists and campers also joined in the search. On the 5th day, he was found. What good news! Here's a few words from one of the rescue team that found Luke.
I just, out of the corner of my eye, just caught a little flash of something. It wasn't much, but it was enough to make me get the guys to turn the aircraft around and go back and have a further look. As it turned out, and when we got closer and we were able to have a better look at him, we saw that it was a person on the ground, and we were able to train the camera in and confirm that it was actually Luke. Yeah, we were just absolutely over the moon. Obviously, we've all of us in the crew are parents ourselves, and we can only imagine what the parents of Luke have been going through, and just such a great reward for everybody's efforts.
Amazing. Luke doesn't have full speech capacity, so nobody can really know how he managed to survive those 5 days out in the bush. But well done, Luke. That's really good news. So the next story we're going to look at tonight is Sibling Day, which is celebrated on Friday the 10th of April. So Sibling Day is originated by an American woman called Claudia Evart. She started the idea of Sibling Day after losing both her brother and sister, and the actual date, the 10th of April, is the anniversary of the death of her sister Lisette. So it's an American thing, but I mean, Sibling Day, we do Mother's Day and Father's Day, so why not have a Sibling Day? And I know that my niece has celebrated it this month, so let's have a look at Sibling Day. Not everyone gets along with their siblings, but for those who do, well, what a great thing to celebrate. A day we can think up something special to do with our brothers and sisters, show them that we love them or appreciate them. Here are some famous Star Wars siblings, looking quite close in this photo. This year some famous people took to tweeting photos and salutations to their sibling. Here's Cindy Crawford and her brothers and sisters. And Kylie Minogue posted a photo of her and Danny this year. And here's some more famous siblings. Can you guess who these are? So Siblings Day. I've got a sibling fact for you here. Apparently the eldest are typically more intelligent than the younger siblings because the parents' early training to their first child, they often gain more parental concentration and thus become more advanced in IQ and the linguistic field. Not sure if I agree with that, being the youngest. Anyway, let's get on to the next story. The next story is of a new locale called Ms. Rad's Kids Art Studio. It's a kids art studio developed by Shelley Radanovic and it's in Barden in Brisbane. It had its opening day on the 20th of April. Let's go and have a look and have a talk to Shelley. Miss Rad's Kids Art Studio. It opened on the 20th of April and it's located on 148 Boundary Street in Barden, Brisbane. The director of Miss Rad's is Shelley Radanovic and the art studio is a culmination of her greatest passions: kids, art, creativity and education. The space looks great. It's so colourful and inviting. Let's have a word to Shelley, the woman responsible. Yeah, Miss Rad's Kids Art
Yes.
Studio. Yeah.
So my surname is Radanovic and previously I've been a primary school teacher. So the kids in my class would call me Miss Rad for short. But the Kids Art Studio part is what I'm really passionate about. Mm-hmm. The idea is that it's an art studio first and foremost and that kids are the artists that are working in the space is a secondary idea. I like the idea that the kids who come have their own project that they're working on and work towards having an exhibition at the end of term that their friends and family can come to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's basically a studio space where kids can come and learn different techniques and expression and grow their artistic knowledge, I guess. I offer any primary school age children. So I've got kids from prep to grade 6 who come across.
Yeah. And it's like after school, weekends?
After school, every day after school.
Yep.
They can come from 3 o'clock till 5:30.
Yep.
Because it's not a structured class, they can arrive a little bit later if they need to be dropped from a different suburb, or if it suits the family to pick them up earlier, they can do that as well. Mm-hmm. So it's quite flexible.
How did you get to this point of opening this space?
Okay. I guess as a kid I was very arty. And then when I finished high school, I went on to do a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Film and TV, but ended up doing a grad dip in education as well. So my two biggest passions are education and arts. Mm-hmm. And I guess after my experience of working in schools and finding teaching art very limiting in to do with curriculum and also with time that I had to do it with the kids, I really wanted to work towards something that I could combine art and education but make it more arts focused. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm a primary school teacher, but I also work at Ipswich Art Gallery in the children's program. I'm a practicing artist as well and yeah, have experience, I guess, teaching kids from prep to grade 6 and teaching drama and PE and things like that. At the moment, I'm really excited to see where it's going to go and the project that the kids are going to produce. Mm-hmm. Long term, I'd like to see it become popular just for kids making art's sake, that so many kids are enjoying it and tell their friends, and more kids want to make art after school. So if it gets so big that's the case, it would be great to expand and find a bigger space and be able to take more kids and hire staff and just get it as this like bustling entity. At the moment it's pretty small and intimate, which is great for it to start, but that would be my goal, to just get it bigger. And nothing to do with me or my goals, it's just if it becomes bigger it means more kids are learning about art and becoming artists, and that's kind of my goal in the end, I guess.
Cool. Miss Rad's Kids Art Studio. It looks great, Shelley. Congratulations. It is said that one person every 3 minutes this year will develop dementia. So it's really good news that Duke University in America has found a new possible cause for Alzheimer's, and there's a drug that is now in clinical human trials to treat cancer that could prevent the disease of Alzheimer's. Oh, our presenter got a little tongue-tied there. I hope that was understandable. So basically there's new research that's been found this month on the cause of Alzheimer's, and this research has been heralded as offering new hope of finding treatments for dementia. The research suggests that in mice with Alzheimer's disease, certain immune cells that normally protect the brain begin to abnormally consume an important nutrient called arginine. By blocking this process using the drug DFMO, memory loss and a buildup of sticky proteins known as brain plaques were prevented. If indeed arginine consumption is so important to the disease process, maybe it can be blocked and reverse the disease. Mice that had been given the drug DFMO to block arginine were found to perform better in memory tests. That's mice with Alzheimer's. All of this suggests to us that if you can block this local process of amino acid deprivation, then you can protect the brain from Alzheimer's disease. This study is seen as opening doors to thinking about Alzheimer's in a completely different way. So this is very exciting. This is very good news. So that's really good news for Alzheimer's. So we have the body mass index, which is a way to measure body health. But what do we have to measure brain health? So there's a neuroscientist down at QUT, Selena Bartlett, and she has developed an app which measures your BVI, your Brain Vitality Index. So she's developed a way to measure your brain health. Selena Bartlett did a talk, TEDx QUT. So let's go and have a little bit of Selena talking there.
I ask each of you, what sort of brain do you want to have? Although you inherit your brains both from animals and your parents and from aunties and uncles and places we don't really even know yet, we do have some choices about the type of brain we want to have. This is why I came out of my lab this year. I was getting frustrated that this great 21st century brain revolution and information about brain plasticity was not really being conveyed in a way that people were adopting it and integrating it into their everyday lives. Professor Michael Masinek has been working in this field for decades. Also, you've probably heard of Norman Doidge's book, where they're talking about the brain has a natural ability to change itself. And many people kind of think of this and they think it's about having a hole in your brain and regrowing it, like from a stroke or rehabilitation. But this is the amazing thing. We have the capability of changing our brain forever. What this means is that your brain is constantly rewiring or wiring in response to changes in your feelings, your thoughts, and your experiences. Isn't that amazing?
So if you'd like to watch the whole presentation of Selena's, go to TEDx Talks and look up Selena Bartlett. So Selena has developed an app with the intention to bridge the gap between the latest understandings of brain plasticity and how the average person is living their life. Selena's sister suffered with mental health, so she has a very personal interest in bringing the possibilities of brain plasticity to the general public. Selena has developed the Brain Vitality Index, which enables us to integrate the latest research and apply this information to everyday life. How do you use the BVI app? The BVI is your personal record of your internal brain speak, thoughts, and moods. It's simple, quick, and easy to use. Its intention is to boost your brain vitality. It's about giving you information and handy hints to help you understand your thoughts and improve your outlook on life. So the BVI app is available at iTunes for about $4.99, so you can download that. I did, but I haven't had a chance yet to try it out, so I don't have much to say about it. I do find it interesting what she says about positive neural pathways and negative neural pathways, because that sort of supports my whole idea of doing this Good News program to support my own positive neural pathways. I want to look at Get Up's Brighter Budget campaign. They have, around the new budget that's coming out soon, and Get Up have a campaign that they're putting forward what they would like to see incorporated in the budget. So they have reform negative gearing, reform superannuation tax concessions, introduce the Buffett rule, that's my personal favourite, scrap the capital gains tax discount, cut fossil fuel subsidies, and impose super profits tax on banks. Now all these ideas go to a fairer economic system where tax is paid by who should be paying it. My favourite is the Buffett rule. So I don't know if you know about Warren Buffett, who basically realised one day that his secretary was paying more tax than he was, and he came up with a whole idea of how the high income earners in the States should pay more tax, and I think it's been implemented by the Obama government. So they're suggesting that we implement that here. Kerry Packer famously reduced his effective tax rate, so he paid less tax than his gardener. So the Buffett rule would put a cap on loopholes for the top 1% of income earners to ensure they pay at least the same tax rate as middle income Australians. I think that's good news. I think the fact that Get Up exists to be able to put campaigns forward like this is good news. So they're always looking for people to help fund and support their campaigns. So you can always go to Get Up's site and you can read more about their Brighter Budget campaign. This month in West End, Brisbane, Lee Coonan and Jodie Keeley hosted a charity Pie Off event. The event was to raise money for Camp Out, an annual LGBTIQ camp for youth aged 13 to 17. The money raised from the Pie Off will send a few happy kids off to camp that otherwise would have been unable to go. So the challenge was on, a Pie Off. Those who entered a pie were split into 4 categories: creative, veggie, meat, and sweet. On the eve, people paid a $10 entry fee and each received a scorecard. The pies were laid on a buffet table and numbered. A slice was had and a vote put in. There was a winner crowned from each category. The hosts hope this can become a regular biannual or annual event to support LGBTIQ youth. It was a great night. I was there. I did feel a bit sick after. So much pie. Pie. So, Jane Street Community Gardens. Jane Street Community Gardens in West End has a new garden coordinator, Melissa Schmreknik. Over the next couple of months, Melissa will be working as the garden coordinator at the Jane Street Community Gardens. To give you a quick overview of her experience, she studied environmental science, permaculture, organic farming, and biodynamic farming. She spent a year in South America volunteering and living amongst self-sufficient and permaculture communities. She also works in partnership with Own Grown Organics, helping people to grow their own edible garden oasis. From backyard gardens to rooftop gardens, she loves anything green, growing and alive.
Melissa's vision is to turn these beautiful gardens back into a thriving hub of life, complete with regular workshops, working bees, and community get-togethers. She says, let's explore subjects of self-sufficiency, community development, and organic farming.
If you haven't been down to Jane Street Community Gardens, go down and have a look on Davy Street in West End. They have a website and you can hire plots to grow your own gardens, or you can just volunteer to help and learn a little bit about gardening. It's really beautiful. So we're now going to have a look at a nursing home in the Netherlands.
This particular nursing home allows university students to live rent-free alongside the elderly residents as part of a project aimed at warding off the negative effects of ageing. In exchange for small rent-free apartments, the retirement home in the Netherlands requires students to spend at least 30 hours per month acting as good neighbours. Officials at the nursing home say students do a variety of activities with the older residents, including watching sports, celebrating birthdays, and perhaps most importantly, offering company when seniors fall ill, which helps stave off feelings of disconnectedness. Both social isolation and loneliness in older men and women are associated with increased mortality. The students bring the outside world in. There is lots of warmth in the contact. They are allowed to come and go as they please as long as they follow one rule: do not be a nuisance to the elderly. Similar intergenerational programs exist in Lyons, France, Cleveland, Ohio, and Barcelona in Spain. What a good idea. Great news.
I really think that's good news. I'd like to see ways here that we could integrate the elderly more into our community. We seem to separate them in such a way that we lose out on all of that wisdom, and so I really think that story is great. So we're going to go to the Surf Championships in Margaret River. American Courtney Conolog has upstaged world number one Carissa Moore to win the Margaret River Pro World Surf League event this month.
In solid waves at Margaret River's main break, Conolog won the final 16-13 to hand Moore her first defeat of the year. After winning the first two events of 2015 at the Gold Coast and Bells Beach, second place at Margaret River sees two-time world champion Moore maintain a big lead in the 2015 World Surf League rankings. Conolog moved into second place on the rankings, giving the 22-year-old Californian confidence to challenge for this year's world title. Conolog said, "I feel like the hard work is starting to pay off, and I'm just going to go out and push myself in every heat I surf. Moore has had such a stellar start to the season, I was thinking maybe I can end it." Congratulations, Conolog.
Well done, Courtney. So the World Surfing League that actually ran that Margaret River Pro Surf Championships, they also helped to fund an NGO called Waves for Water. Waves for Water has teamed up with surf company Hurley International to develop a DIY volunteer program called Clean Water Couriers, in which surfers in searching for waves in third world countries carry filters with them in their luggage. So it's about bringing clean water, or ways to get clean water in areas where clean water is a problem. Often on islands that have been, Vanuatu for example, that was recently ravaged. I'm sure some of the surfers have been out there with some clean water filters and teaching people how they can get clean water.
My name is John Rose. I started Waves for Water because there's so many problems in the world that are seemingly unsolvable, but clean water is not one of them. Our whole mission is just to get access to clean water to those in need around the world. From the solutions that we have, such as portable water filters, catching rain, We're digging a well to find community leaders in each of these little regions to empower them to then empower their people. It's just being a surfer. You don't have to ask permission. You don't have to drop everything and join the Peace Corps. This is people helping people with the basic needs that we are all entitled to. My goal is to give every single person clean water.
So Waves for Water are doing some really great things. Go and have a look at their website and read more about it. So that brings us to the end of our first edition of the Good News Monthly. I just wanted to mention I picked up this newspaper, the West Ender, which is a small independent newspaper here in Brisbane, and it was full of good news. Good news in here. Also, we've got Bicycle Week coming up at the end of the month, so get out your bicycles, blow the dust off it, and get out and have a ride. I just wanted to mention that I would like to keep this Good News program going. I gave myself a very small window this month, and it's been a little bit challenging to get this done, which you're probably going to notice through the filming and the editing. But I'd just like to ask, there's a Good News program Facebook page, which probably is written there now. So please go and like the page if you would like to support this program, and I would like to ask for feeders. So if you're going along in life and you see something that you consider good news, then please send me a quick message, maybe with a link to the story so we can pop it in the Good News program for next month. And that's about it, really. Yeah, that's all the stories we had for you today for the month of April, for the first edition of the Good News Monthly. Thanks for watching. I'd just like to leave you with a quote from Eckhart Tolle, who says that if there's not lightness, ease and joy in what you're doing, then you're not present. So get present and have lightness, ease and joy in everything that you do. Good news, good news, good news. 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 Good news, 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 good news. Good news, 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 good news.